Good morning and welcome. Welcome indeed to another edition of Titans Talk right here on the Mark Moses Show, sponsored and brought to you by the fine people at Eastern Florida State College, and especially the great athletic department. And this guy, he's going to come up to the big stage right now. As we've talked, it's very key. We've talked volleyball. We have talked soccer. We've gone around the horn. But yes, he is a great friend of mine, and he does an amazing job there at Eastern Florida. He is Mike Parsons, and I like his titles on the screen. Director of Athletics Communications. Let me say that again. Director of Athletic Communications. Mike, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm all right. All right. Is it Athletics Communications or Athletic Communication?
See, I say athletic communications.
All right. That's what it is. How long have you been working in Eastern Florida now?
I'm on my 10th year here, which is really crazy when you start to think about it.
That is wild. 10
It
years.
It really is.
Because before that, for our viewers who don't know, you worked at the Florida Today newspaper. How long did you work there, Mike?
Yeah, now you're going to date me.
I am.
I spent 2 different stints at Florida Today. The last one I want to say was almost probably 10 to 12 years. The last stint was, but great. Loved it. Loved the newspaper business. I was, I'm a junkie for sports, as you know. Any sport, anytime, I'm probably watching it. And so that was, my dream job. But now I've turned into the other side, which is also now my dream job, which is now I get to hang out with athletes and cover their sports and get to know them on a personal level, as well as, help them on their journey. So I do a lot more teaching than, the usual. Used to be writing the story about what everybody wanted to know, but now I'm teaching them a lot more.
Did you find it hard to make that transition from going, like you said, covering it to now you're working for the school? Was that hard for you?
Yeah, the hardest part, the funny part is the easiest part is writing. Always has been for me. The writing is always easy, but the hardest part was writing what we would call in the newspaper business the fluff story. So win or lose, I'm still trying to find the good that came out of it, where when I was covering it for the paper, it didn't matter. Like whatever I saw, that's what I wrote. And that's what I talked about. Where now it's like, okay, how am I going to spin this to still seem like we're doing well?
And look, that's fine. Like I completely understand what you're saying. It reminds me of okay, you cover a team and they're a national brand. Like, let's say Eastern Florida makes it to the national title game.
Yep.
All right, win or lose, I'm going to continue to talk about Eastern Florida.
Exactly.
The national guys are going to be like, nah, forget them. No. We have to keep talking about them.
Now, I am blessed in that all of our teams are good. I haven't, knock on wood somewhere, I haven't covered that 4-20 team yet, in which I'm like, what am I doing here?
Do you take, I know it's not just you, it's a full staff of coaches, Jeff Carr, your athletic director. How much pride do you take in where you guys put out a great product year in and year out with the teams?
I take a lot of pride in that side, but also the backside of that. So, your live stream, the coverage I do, the videos, all of that kind of thing. That's where, my pride, just like the morning used to be the newspaper, the sports section came out and I would be like looking through every page, like, yes, we did this the right way. And now after every game, you're kind of doing the same thing. Yes, we did that the right way. Like, that really came off well.
Okay. How many sports do you have there at Eastern Florida then?
We have 13 sports. Right now, you could say 11 of them are in some kind of season right now. Golf is in their fall season, but doing amazing, which it's one of those things, you're in the fall season, so I don't need to pay attention, but you're doing so well that I actually do need to pay attention to you because you guys are winning tournaments every other week. So,
yes.
But right now, the main ones are men, women's soccer, volleyball, and the 2 cross-country teams are the ones in their championship season.
So for anyone who wants to go into your line of work, I look at the calendar where, all right, so you get to August, new season, new school year.
Yep.
And then do you go nonstop where, like you said, all these different sports, do you get kind of a break? Is it close to Christmas?
Yeah. So I'll get, my wife hates my schedule. Yeah, there's no doubt about
It's okay.
especially because she loves to cruise. And so I have such a limited schedule that it drives her crazy. But so Thanksgiving week's usually, our national tournament for soccer is the week before Thanksgiving. So unless basketball has a tournament, Thanksgiving week is good. And then December, we're pretty good from December 22nd to January 1st or 2nd. So that's the real one in the middle that you can breathe and say, all right. And then, baseball and softball are huge. So once I get back from that, I'm right back into it. And then, once baseball and softball are done, that's when I say I disappear. And I try not to be around much until, mid-July. And then I start getting roster schedules and stuff for August.
Do you find it difficult? And it's okay. You're only a human being, especially for what your line of work. And I talk about this with the coaches where, hey, you're at the junior college level. You only get the players for 1 or 2 years. Is it hard from your standpoint juggling constant turnover with all these players and you're trying to learn them? I know it's exciting and fun to meet them, but is that a challenging part of your job?
For sure. And the hardest part is actually the fact that I just get a relationship with them, or I've just taught them, don't be scared of the camera. Don't be worried. We're doing good things here and it's going to be fine. And then they leave and they go somewhere else. Especially international players, they aren't as outgoing, so they don't talk to me. They don't want to, they just say hi and walk as fast as they can by you. And then by the time the second year, they're in my office, they're hanging around, and I'm like, yeah, but now you're leaving. Like, why didn't we do this last year?
You're absolutely right. And here's the thing, is so I give credit to Mike, and I'm happy he's getting his 5 minutes of fame here.
Yeah.
I like that. So it's like, dude, what I try to think from your perspective, like, all right, so if you're a fan, we're going to the basketball game. We're sitting down, we're going to watch the game. Game ends, I'm going home. Oh, no, not you. Your game day operation, essentially, when I think of basketball, volleyball, any of these sports, all right, you have to make sure that the game program's ready to go, that the broadcast is ready to go. Sometimes you have to be the PA announcer. Man, you're PA announcer. The game ends, you don't get to go home.
No.
You got to do the recap. You got to and you got to make sure other things. This phone, I will get emails at 1:00 in the morning. Okay.
And I do apologize for that,
No, I need to know this information if I'm going to do this show. Okay? Thank you for doing that. Dude, it's amazing. You do an amazing job. I'm trying to throw you flowers here and let you
thank you.
It is not easy. So what was it like last Friday when you guys, for cross country, you had to drive? I don't know if you had to go, but like you drove to Tallahassee, then you had to, how hard was that for your program?
So it's always difficult when you're making those kind of trips, especially cross country, because it's so early in the morning. So you go the night before, you're still up really early, and then you're driving right back right afterwards. That cross country was one of the coolest ones that I've seen, because they actually did a live stream, which you never see. Nice. And they had a drone, because it was Florida State University's actual cross country meet. So they had a drone, and they had like 4 or 5 different cameras. And so like you were actually able to watch cross country like you were watching a soccer game or a volleyball game. It was really impressive. And then they had the times would be listed on the side, so I could actually follow along.
That's awesome, dude.
Cross country is one of those sports, though, that I love to go and root on, any of our teams. But cross country is one of those that you don't gain a whole lot by going, more than if I was watching it. And so I don't go to a lot of them just because time-wise and schedule-wise.
That's cool that they did that with the drone. And
it was so cool, because usually I'm watching a screen of numbers, basically looking for our guys or girls. Yeah. And then I talked to Coach Doug afterwards about how he felt.
Yeah, it's kind of like you're like watching NASCAR or something. That's pretty cool. Like, I look.
It'd be like watching NASCAR on my computer screen. Like all I see is the numbers going around in circle, kind of thing.
Dude. Okay, we're with Mike Parsons. Okay, I made this comment to another reporter about 2 weeks ago, and I want your thoughts. So growing up, like you think of high school sports or even smaller colleges. All right, maybe you'd get a little clip in the newspaper. Hey, this is going on. Don't you think this stuff is awesome with technology, where you're watching from your computer, a cross-country meet, and there's video and there's social media. Isn't it amazing what we can do now with technology?
Yeah, I couldn't imagine doing this job right now with 13 sports if I didn't have that. So this weekend's a perfect example. Our men's soccer team is in Texas. Our women's soccer team is in New York. We have volleyball at home, and I will be able to watch all of those games. Like 2 decades ago, I'd be sitting by the phone waiting for Scott, our women's soccer coach, or Adam, our men's soccer coach, to call me and say how they did. But now, like, I'm watching, I'm able to update online and Twitter and that kind of thing, X, and I can actually tell the coach, oh, I saw this, I saw that. How'd you feel? Like, now I can actually have an interview like I was there because I watched it.
That is cool. And the thing is, when I used to like board up high school football 20 years ago, people would call in. I don't know if they're telling the truth.
No.
You could be lying.
Yeah, 100%. So when I was in Florida today, when I was the sports editor, I would sit at the desk all Friday night and just wait for reporters to call me and tell me what was going on. And that was literally, you're like, okay, now they're winning, now they're losing. It's like,
you don't know. All right.
No clue.
So last week I talked to your cross-country coach. And I'm going to say this in the interview. I'm working on it right now. He told a story that was so interesting. It sounds like a Disney movie.
Yeah.
He said when we started the women's cross-country program, we couldn't get anyone to sign up. So there were some local ladies who were, I got to make sure I do this right, older than a normal JUCO student. So they signed up, and that was your first team. Dude, so Doug, all right, he helped me out. I got their contact information.
Excellent.
I'm going to try to do something big where I get all the ladies on screen with me at one time. I don't know how I'm going to juggle this. I don't know. All 7 of them are probably going to be talking at the same time, but I saw the photos.
Yeah.
Dude, I am not stressing this enough. That needs to be a Disney movie.
Yeah, it was cool.
Okay, from your perspective, what happened?
It was cool, but it wasn't. So, we start the program kind of late in the recruiting for Doug, and we all kind of assumed because he's a local legend cross-country coach that it would come really easy and kids would just want to come here and run. But the reality is, brand new program, nobody knows we even have cross-country, and are they going to be any good, or why would I go there and run? There's no history of us doing anything in cross country. And so the reality was there wasn't very many, if any, girls that wanted to come here at that point. And so he found ladies that wanted to take classes here and get an education that were, maybe had a baby early in life or got married and did other things and were working, and they came back and they went to classes here and ran. And, for the first year, it was weird, but it was kind of cool at the same time. And they had their built-in fans, because the whole family would come watch them run. So, there was a lot of different things, but they really set this program on a trajectory because now, we have a whole group of girls that are really good, and that each year it keeps getting better on the cross-country level. And it's because of them that started it that gets that going to where it is today and hopefully on to the future.
Okay. I'm going to put in a recommendation here. I know you have like the Hall of Fame with all the plaques on the wall. They need to go in. I know
their team photo needs to go up there.
Yes, it does. Because someone had to step forward and do this. I think that's really cool story. Now,
that's the thing. If they don't do it, like, does women's cross country ever take off here? Because the first year would then be a failure, really. And, and any kind of thing. And the first year is your biggest year. If you can't get it going the first year, it's not going to take off. And so, they really were, pioneers.
my dad's suggestion, and he's the GOAT. He's like, you should make this into a documentary. And I'm like, all right, hold on. Let me just interview them first. We'll start there. But he's like, he thinks I have a staff of 10 people.
Yeah.
Hold on. All right. It's me, Coach, and Mike. All right. We will work. We'll get some interns. But you know what? He is right. So I'm going to work on that behind the scenes. And I'm going to try to get them on here in the next couple of weeks. I know it's going to be hard with coordinating, but I will work on
But
it.
yeah.
Okay. I know basketball is going to be starting up here, practice season
Yeah.
around the corner.
Yeah.
You talk about being there for 10 years now at the school. How proud are you of men's and women's building up these programs into powers at your level?
It is honestly amazing. It has been an amazing journey for me to be able to see those programs build into what they are today. You talk about pride and that kind of thing. There is nothing better than when you go to a national tournament and you have the E on your shirt and everybody knows who you are. There is nothing better than that in the world. Because you're like, wow, these schools are from Iowa and from Texas and everywhere, and they know exactly who you are because of that. So, Jeremy Schulman, MJ Baker, they really put those programs on the map, and they made it so everybody knows exactly what that logo means and what it is. I talk about men's tennis is like that. Bobby Cashman has done a great job with the men's tennis team, and to where you go to that national tournament now, everybody knows, oh, Eastern Florida's here. We're in trouble. Like there's that definite look like, oh, they're gonna be good. It's not just we're here, we're gonna spend a couple days here and go home. No, everybody knows you're walking. It's like those classic movies. You walk into the facility and everybody's like, oh, they're in the building. Adam has that with his men's soccer team too. It's the same thing. Adam walks in with his guys and everybody's like, oh, Eastern Florida's here.
Yes. And he's got the British accent.
And he has the British accent to boot.
No. This guy knows what he's talking about. We're not messing around for football.
I joke with him all the time that he gets away with telling refs things that nobody else can because he says it in that nice British accent.
Oh, yeah. So if you and me do it, it's not as sexy.
Yeah, no. We're getting carded right away.
As a guy that covered sports here in Brevard County, and now you're there at Eastern Florida, I want your thoughts on volleyball from the standpoint, the growth of the sport in the state. Women's volleyball, it's gigantic. What are your thoughts, Mike?
Yeah, it's crazy. When I was at Florida today, it was literally, and congratulations to Angie Patrick, number 500 this week. But literally, when I was at Florida today, Angie Patrick was the only one that we talked to about volleyball. It's so crazy now that all of the teams are really good. And, from here, we're really good. And so I talk to our coach, Melito, all the time about it. And, the growth is amazing. And when you watch the players, that growth is so much more amazing. And it's because of the clubs and the youth programs and stuff that have really started taking off in volleyball. And so now you start to see these players are actually really good, where when we were covering it back, 20 years ago, those teams weren't very good. It was just Merritt Island was really good, and everybody else was okay. So it's really cool to watch the other programs build right up. And, Angie Patrick's the reason for that, because other schools and other programs are like, man, we want to be like them. Like, we got to build up our program to be like them. And so it's really 500 wins is amazing.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's kind of like baseball where, you get these kids, they're in these leagues, they start, they're young.
100%.
They're building up. It feels like that for little girls with volleyball, where now they're at these tournaments at the Orange County Convention Center with thousands of other women. And you're like, what has happened here? Okay. All right. So I'm not putting you on the spot. I know this is more of a Jeff Carr type question, your athletic director. All right. So when does pickleball and beach volleyball, is that another 10 years away for those two sports? When does it happen?
As someone who has 13 sports, I hope it is, but I bet it's not. The other one that's growing, especially at the NJCA level, is flag football.
Yeah.
And so, those sports. So we do have pickleball at the dorms now for people just to play, that kind of thing. And so that sport's catching on so much. I could imagine that's coming.
Is it just in Florida? I'm confused by this.
I don't think so. Like I said, I will watch sports anywhere. I've actually seen pickleball tournaments where they're in New York and things like that. And it's crazy. ESPN Ocho shows the weirdest things in the world that are actually sports that are televised now.
Oh, the weirdest? Dude, the weirdest. My coworker Eric loves it. The one where it's the slippery stairs.
Yes.
I'm like, how do you even practice this sport? Yeah. How do you do that?
And at some point, we have to dictate what actually is a sport and what is just crazy to watch.
Well, I know. That's why I bring up the pickleball first off. Dude, all right. I remember living in a world before buffalo wings were a mandatory thing on a restaurant menu.
Yeah.
Now, and you're a Bills guy, so it's like all buffalo. But it's like pickleball, I say, in the last 6 or 7 years, exploded as a sport.
Yeah. And, it's weird because at first when you think about it, oh, that's going to take over for tennis. But I think it's actually helping tennis grow because, it's just players that maybe can't play full court tennis anymore. Now you go to pickleball, you can still play. So because this court's smaller and everything. And so it actually grows the whole sport, basically.
I've never played it before. Have you?
Not officially. I've hit.
Not officially. All right, you and me, we're going to be a team for the Olympics.
Oh, that'll be great. Yeah, we'll do real well.
Yeah. Team USA. I like you brought up flag football. Dude, it's going to be an Olympic sport.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. And
it really is.
Women's flag football as well will be there. That's fascinating.
And that's the NJCA level. That's what it is. It's women's flag football, which is great. And, that's another women's sport, which we all know that's awesome to have more of those in our whole facility. And so that's why I think that might be the next one we turn to, just because that is, another cool upcoming sport.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
Some of this stuff. All right. What do you have? I know we're doing this on October 1st, taping this. What games you got coming up over the next couple of days?
Yep. So like I said, men's, women's soccer, both on the road this weekend. Men's soccer's in Texas. They have a couple of big games in Texas, including on Saturday, they actually play the Division III #1 team in the country, which lower level, but still was in the national title last year. They're a perennial power, so that should be a really fun match for Adam and the boys. The women's soccer team is in Rochester, New York. So Monroe Community College, they go to the national tournament almost every year. They're ranked 11th. We're ranked 20. That'll be a great game. That's on Friday, so that should be really fun. Can't wait to watch that. And then home, we have volleyball. So last Saturday, we had an epic game against the #1 team in the country. Went 5 sets, actually 22-20 in the 5th set. It was about as fun as you could watch a game, unless you're rooting for one side or the other, then it's not as much fun.
Yeah.
But so now this weekend at 2:00 at Titan Fieldhouse, we'll have #2 ranked Miami-Dade come. And so we'll see how we do against them. But Melito Ilatiza has that team really playing well. They're really young, and so they took a couple losses early, but they're playing really well. And so that should be a fun one Saturday. But yeah, this weekend it's more watching the iPad and the computer because the teams are all on the road this weekend.
That's really cool. Before I let you go, and I appreciate coming on, we're here with Mike Parsons for the Titans Talk. So I think the update I saw last night, Bruce Bochy.
Yeah.
I think he is no longer with the Texas Rangers.
No.
Hey, World Series champion. Okay. We got to get him on. All right. We got to work on this, buddy.
Yeah.
Because for our listeners and viewers who don't know, what is his relationship with Eastern Florida?
Yeah. So this is the wild world that we live in. We have a couple of these kind of athletes that they go on to do things that you sit back and you say, what? And Bruce Bochy's one of those. Bruce Bochy played here in the 70s. We went to the state title with them as a catcher. He went on, played professionally, and now he's one of the, if not the best manager in all of baseball history. And, he still gives back. It's Bruce Bochy Field here. He donated a World Series check for our field. And so our field is as nice as it is because of Bruce Bochy. He talks to our athletic director, Jeff Carr, all the time. And so, I just can't say more about the man. He's been here. It's great. And I hope I hope he decides to manage, just because I love to watch him and say, keep tracks of wherever he is. I know the rumor mill says the Giants want him back. And if you're the Giants, why not?
Why not? Have you met him before?
Yes.
You have.
Yes. And I will tell you, his hands make you feel like you're not even shaking a hand anymore. He has the biggest hands in the world.
Oh, okay. All right, this is behind the scenes now.
Yes.
Okay. So in our athletic director, Jeff Carr's office, he has, I think it's the San Francisco Giants hat.
Yep.
It is now I have a gigantic head. One way, okay, my ego and the actual size of my head. I have a bobblehead. I have a pretty big baseball. No. This hat, I think it's an 8.
Yeah, it's big.
It's gigantic.
Yeah.
I mean, look, he went to the majors. I mean,
he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then, the other one is Bunny Shaw that, I actually covered Bunny Shaw here. And so every time I see her score goals for Manchester City, I'm like, wow, I can't believe that's the same girl that used to sit in my office and I used to talk to. It's just, you're just blown away by those things. But that's what makes this job special is, you help these kids a little bit and then you see them and you're like, wow, I remember when kind of thing.
And that's what's really cool with your job. You get to see the growth of these student athletes.
Yeah.
And by the way, anytime I think of great moments at Eastern Florida, I think when Alex Morgan showed up and scored multiple goals.
Yeah.
Your soccer coach did not like that.
No.
Think about that. These are the type of opportunities you get at Eastern Florida.
Yeah.
Where, you're a junior college student athlete. Oh, we're going to scrimmage against Alex Morgan. Oh man, now you know what the bar is. After
that team had Alex Morgan, it had Ashlyn Harris, it had so many U.S. women's national team players on it, and they came to our field, and it was amazing. Yeah, it was so amazing. But yeah, I mean, as she should, Alex Morgan put on a show, as she should.
When you see an athlete at that level, especially for football, soccer,
right?
It's kind of like when I saw Messi play, and I'm very fortunate. I was like, give that person whatever they want. Yeah. Sign the check.
100%.
That's what it is.
100%.
His name's Mike Parsons. Thank you so much for coming on, and have a great day, buddy. I appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me.